To the west of the Mississippi River lies a land I love. It's still. Hey guys, welcome to the show. Hey, thanks for our musical guest today. All right. Hey, Jason, week 5
Week
in the books.
5 in the books. We're over a third of the way of the regular season is gone.
I was thinking about that this week too. A third of the way through. It goes way too quickly.
Yeah.
You think about this all the time and then it's gone.
Yeah.
I want to start off just talking about replacements. Like some big replacements we've seen over the off season, like Russell Wilson replacing Drew Lock, Nathaniel Hackett replacing Vic Fangio. Now, Fangio and Lock are 100% not qualified for their respective jobs. Russell Wilson is not noticeably better. Hackett may be worse. Somehow Geno Smith's doing wonders in the Pete Carroll offense. It seemed to stifle Wilson. What gives?
Man, all fantastic questions. I've been shocked at Geno Smith, and I love that Brandon has him on his team, being a huge West Virginia fan. And
I didn't know that.
That's been a really interesting development in the NFL to have Russell just stink. And isn't it 5 of the first 6 weeks they're going to be on, or 4 of the first 6 weeks they're going to be on, primetime TV. Yeah.
Always in our faces. Just
how many times
to watch this nightmare.
Well, and I love it because now I'm I want to watch. I just want to watch him try to attempt. He threw that pass on last Thursday night when all he needed to do is kneel down 3 times and wins the game. And he threw that pass right to the opponent.
But that to me, that's Hackett. Hackett should be calling that play.
Yes. It almost like they're together. Like, I mean, it's super interesting also to me to see how many mistakes he's made. If there was anybody who wanted to sabotage a team like Ted Lasso, they bought it for $4.6 billion.
Major League.
Right. There could be this way that they're like, hey, let's try to lose. Let's hire a coach who has no idea what he's doing. It doesn't seem like he has any idea how a clock operates in the NFL.
No, nothing about plays. Nothing works. Nothing.
No.
He's fuddled.
Steve Klug is the biggest Denver Broncos fan that I know. Maybe we should bring Steve Klug in. I think he'd be a great guest on the show.
Oh, people would be clamoring for that. I wanted to bring up the Giants too, because last year they were down. They were led down into Jane Gum's pit from Silence of the Lambs with the fat girl and the little dog. They're down in that pit. That's where Jason Garrett and Joe Judge had that team. And now Brian Dable is there, and they are just balling. They're 4-1. And then Jacksonville was the other one I wanted to bring up, because you got Urban Meyer being replaced by a human being who's not just a complete sack of Bigfoot dicks. That seems to be helping. Doug Peterson's a professional man, like a coach. So
what is Jacksonville's record right now?
Oh, have they even won a game?
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
Let's look it up. It won't take but a moment.
We need a stat guy here working for the show.
Jacksonville looks good to me though. The Jags
looks way better than last year.
The Jags are 2-3.
Well, there you go.
And the Giants
not great.
Giants play at home and are 4-1 this week. The Ravens are favored by 5.5, so they're home dogs. Saquon Barkley looks so good. I don't know how they're getting it done. It's amazing. I did not watch this week's Sunday morning game, the Sunday school game, as I like to call it. Did not watch the Sunday school game, but when I kept looking and checking the scores from time to time and just being like, how are the Packers not just running away with this?
Yeah, Giants hung around, bam, victory.
Yeah.
Anything else catch your eye this week before we move on to the recap?
Yeah, we usually don't touch on the waiver wire. I'd like to see if we could talk about the owner of the Cobras and some of their bids on the second go round.
I went a little hard to the hole.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about this $75 Alec Pierce wide receiver Indianapolis bid. Made at 11:10 Saturday, October the 8th, just 50 minutes before the deadline.
Well, I had planned to bid on him this week, and then I forgot on Wednesday. Okay. And I thought, oh, no big deal. I'll just bid on Saturday. And then he played on Thursday. And then he played pretty well. And I was like, God damn it. Now the cat's really out of the bag. got a bunch of catches. He's been getting all these catches. He's a rookie, so it's like there's this it's like those card packs you like to buy. You don't know what's inside. It
Right.
might be a big winner though.
Yeah.
It might be
Yeah.
trash. I don't believe in Michael Pittman. I don't think he's a number one kind of a receiver. So this team needs a number one receiver. Paris Campbell can't seem to stay healthy enough to take the job. So why not this white kid? And like you said a minute ago, we're a third of the way through the season. And so I was like, what am I saving this money for? I still had like 170 bucks, 109. I don't know. I had all kinds of money left. It's like,
Right.
I'm getting this guy. I don't care. That's what happened.
Now, I don't remember what was the next closest bid to Alec Peters. Do you remember?
I think it was 2.
Okay.
No, there were two. There were two. Like there was like an 18.
16 and 13. Yeah.
Oh, 16. Sure. Yeah.
I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, just bidding $59 too much is not that big of a deal in week 5.
It's fake money. And another owner texted me and said they thought it was a good pick. So there's no price on that. There's no price you can put on that. Compliment from a fellow owner.
No, there's not. Speaking of, maybe we'll get that when you get to my game. I wonder if everybody, I kept waiting for the congratulation text to come in after I beat Jay after Kelce's 3rd touchdown. I wonder if everyone lost my number between texting me the kicker for OU in that 1986 game being Tim Lasher. I got so many text messages. Almost every single owner knew it was Tim Lasher. But then I kept waiting for all of the congratulatory texts to come in after I beat Jay, and everyone must have like got a new phone between last Saturday and
there was a solar flare. There was a flare, and the satellite went out, and it must. I'm sure the texts are on their way.
Okay,
they got to go through.
Better.
They got to route them through a server.
Makes me feel better.
Don't worry.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's look at last week. Chris versus John.
Okay, perfect.
Chris versus John versus Mendenhall. This was exciting.
Oh my
Chris needed a huge game out of Brandon Jacobs, and he almost got it. 5 yards short. That's tough. And Jacobs lost his shoe on the final drive. He had to come out of the game for a minute.
With 101 on like a 3rd and 4, loses his shoe and goes out. He only needs 5 yards for him to win. I also thought that one of my favorite things about that game for sure was Chris bidding $25 on Mo Alley Cox and Mo Alley Cox getting him 0.7 points for the week.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Good return on investment.
I thought it was awesome.
I want to go back to Brandon Jacobs because Jeff shopped this guy all summer. He was basically giving him away. Yeah. Now he's the 5th ranked running back. What a deal for Chris.
He looks
he looks terrific.
He looks so good. The last 2 weeks, 29.5, 25.3, 3 touchdowns. He is running hard. He looks better than anybody. I'm really impressed. I did not believe it. I did not see it coming.
On the other side, Hellhounds have got to feel great about Pierce. Damian Pierce is running hard. He's running back 10 right now.
Yeah.
The rest of his rookies are flashing. They're showing some promise, but nobody's really putting it together. London's 29th, Dobbs 42, Pickens 54. You got to think that's going to creep up if Pickett can play. He's got to be better than Trubisky.
Yeah, he's got
Hellhounds are the. What's that?
He's got to feel really good about Kamara on his bench scoring a bunch of points, but you got to feel like
at least it's there.
Yeah.
Hellhounds are the lowest scoring team in the league by a pretty decent margin, but 2 wins. And they're 2 and 3. They're looking down at Jeremy. They're looking down at Jay, looking down at Middendorf. So
my calculations put him at scoring 50.7 points on average per week, less than the Josh Allen led Shane Cowherd's Russell Sweat Sox. Sweat Sox are scoring 50 more points a week than the Hellhounds. And he still has 2 wins.
Yeah, he's getting it done. Gritty. He's gritty.
Yeah, for sure.
Chad defeated me this week.
Yes.
No surprise. Chad's team's better than mine right now. I needed a lot of things working. I had things working against me as far as matchups and injuries. Yeah. And to beat a team like Chad's, I need those working the other way. Yeah. I need him to have some guys banged up, bad matchups. Right. His team's deep. He's got a lot of really good players. He's got a good shot to win.
He
3rd
really
in total
does.
Points. He's running back depth is an issue, but boy, solid at receiver and tight end.
Oh, so good. And how about solid at quarterback? His quarterbacks this week went 46, 37, 43.
Yeah, that's my kind of woman.
I mean, then you've then you've got the Mark Andrews, Justin Tucker combo at the close. Like that's just really, really solid.
That's a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Now, history says, don't worry, give him some space. He'll find a way to fuck it up all on his own. Just let him roll.
I did recognize that this week, Rashard Penny, one of his promising bench running backs, went out for the season with a broken tibia, and you just got to feel for the guy.
That guy is kind of stung. He's had a hard time.
Yeah, I feel for him for sure.
It's a hard game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Too bad he was on Chad's team.
Yeah. Sorry to Chad. Jeff defeats Middendorf. What can you say about Mahomes? The Chiefs looked like dog crap early on in this game. The Raiders' pass rush was just getting home over and over again. The Raiders went up 17-0, and I looked up the live betting odds just to see where I could get the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I didn't have the courage to bet it, but I could have had the Chiefs at 180, plus 180 money line.
That means if you were to bet $100, you would win 180, being the plus number.
Yeah, you never get plus money on the Chiefs.
Crazy odds. 17-0. They looked like trash, man. My family was watching the game. They're like, what's going on? I was like, they seem disinterested. I said, they felt like maybe they just were going to walk in at home and beat the Raiders, not have to really try that hard. And it was an amazing game. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Mahomes, he's unfazed by the rush. They start figuring it out. What a night. What a performance. And then on the other side, the Pharisees have a decent team performance, but he's sunk by another one of those Lamar stinkers. Despite the two lackluster games, though, Lamar is still the number 4 quarterback. So those lows are a bummer, but man, if you time the highs, he's dominant.
You know, it's what you said last week on the show. It has been the reason he's on so many teams in our league is that the roller coaster is really hard to handle.
Yeah.
Looking back at Jeffrey Logan's team.
Yeah.
The Pats shutting out Detroit after Detroit having such an incredible start to the season. That was my biggest shocker of the week as far as a score. I would have believed it the other way around, but I did not believe that some rookie named Zappy would have come in and beat down the Detroit Lions. I just wouldn't have expected it.
I lost some real life money on the Lions not being able to take care of New England. So believe me, I'm on the same page.
Okay, good deal.
I'm right there with you. Now I wanted to ask you and Middendorf this week both employed the 2 running backs on the same team strategy. Do you like this?
Well, I'm going away from it. I started the first 5 weeks with it, but Kenneth, my boy Kenneth, the Michigan State running back, Kenneth Walker, the 4th or 5th, he's coming into the starting lineup this week against you. So AJ Dillon's back on the bench. It's not worked well for the Packers. I expected the Packers to be ahead in games and run the ball, and that has not been what has happened.
No, poor. Not a lot of guys catching.
No.
Okay, let's move on. Getting so long here. Josh defeats Brandon. Brandon loses this week. He drops to 2-3. Still manages to hold on to the division lead. Josh had so much of a lead on him. He could have benched his quarterback going into the Monday Night Football game. He left him in there. You want the points. The points are going to come up for tiebreakers and stuff. But
right.
Boy, Chubb and Saquon are just lapping the field right now. I feel like they're running the ball so hard. I think better than anybody else in the league right now.
No,
Henry's been great too, but it just seems kind of harder for him. He's having to work harder for those yards.
Yeah.
But they're all just monsters.
Yeah.
Chubb ranked number 1, Henry number 3. Boy, what a luxury for Josh.
I think that Ghosts heard last week you claiming to have the best 1-2 punch at running back, and Henry and Chubb just came out putting up 50.6 points and just saying like, come at us. We're the champs, and we're not going to be beat.
Yeah, and I'm like, Brandon had to be down with Lawrence only getting 25. Like, I feel like 30 is kind of the Mendoza line for having a decent game. Like anything under 30, I'm like, okay, I'm disappointed. But I don't know. The real player to talk about with Brandon though is his tight end. Boy, Taysom Hill, what a luxury. You got a position as scarce as tight end, and he's getting like runs and quarterbacks, and it's like we can't be mad because we all knew this. He's done this for years. We all could have drafted this guy.
Yeah,
Brandon does it.
It's gonna throw a wrench in everything because if he is tight end eligible and keep scoring rushing and passing touchdowns, the only person in the world they're going to be happy is Brandon Whiteside and all of the other Taysom Hill owners in the leagues, but
Right.
everyone else is going to be so mad.
Yeah.
Like to potentially have two quarterbacks on the same team. It's amazing. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Such a
I
leverage.
said that when the show came out, I was like, man, if somehow Taysom Hill becomes a goal line back and a tight end, and I mean, he threw for a touchdown pass.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's running, he's throwing. He's the number 2 tight end right now. He's ahead of Mark Andrews, Hawkinson, Goddard. He's ahead of all these guys.
I mean, ahead of Hawkinson, who had a 30-point game himself just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and Mark Andrews, who scores every week.
Yeah. Brandon's got Geno Smith, Kyler Murray, and Trevor Lawrence. Every week he's got to be tortured, just like Chad being tortured every week. Do I start Brady or not? I mean, it's a difficult problem to have.
Well, but for Chad, it's sexual. For Brandon, it's more of an intellectual issue or maybe emotional.
I think that Geno Smith's gonna end up being his guy. Like
he's the number one. He's the best guy so far. That was in my notes for his game. Like I think you roll with him.
Yeah, I do too.
I think we got a little bit more. Jason defeats Jay. Now I wasn't really paying very close attention to this game. I don't know if anything interesting happened or not. I was kind of a snoozer. I think I don't know.
Well, I would like to say that
great.
Me and my boys had just a great time last night. It was a joy and honor.
That's so obnoxious.
When Kelce scored that third touchdown after they moved him back after a sack to secure the win by 0.6 points. I went crazy. My girls came down the stairs wanting to know what happened. They were just like, because it was a great moment in RT Sports SoonerNation Fantasy history, and I'm glad everyone could enjoy it with me. I'm sure those texts will come through, the congratulatory text for the big win over Jay. I'm sure they're coming through at some point, but yeah, it was a great night, and I took the dog on a long walk. Just said couldn't stop smiling, couldn't go to sleep. It was a beautiful night, so it was amazing. And I would like to say that I texted you. I think it was Monday afternoon. I texted you and said, I can't wait to record the show this week after Kelce takes down the Gridiron Vipers. And I knew I'd have a smile on my face, and everyone would. This would be the most watched episode of all of our shows so far. People wanting to be so excited about the big Travis Kelce win for the Karate Kid. So yeah, I agree. Okay. Are you okay? You want to let's come back. Let's come back to the show.
Do you need to go change your underwear?
I will say, I don't know if you watched the Jets game or we're watching Red Zone. I think his name is Breece Hall. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his first name, or it was Breece. That guy got tackled on the half-yard line twice.
Yeah.
I mean, he should have scored. My notes. Yeah. He should have scored twice, man. And it was amazing. And then as soon as he got to the half-yard line or the quarter-yard line, they put in the starting running back, Michael Carter Jr. Also, I think a Denver Nugget power forward, Michael Carter Jr. And he scored both times. Breece could have had a 45-point game.
Yeah, it was right there. It was maddening. Had to be maddening to be a Breece owner. Poor Jay. Yeah, 1-4. He's got the guys to dig out of this, but I still think Jay gets into the top 8. He's going to make the playoffs, but I think.
You know what? I think so too, but I mean, I don't know if it's a Super Bowl hangover or what, man.
Yeah,
like that was. I mean, it was a crazy game. Hurts played amazing. His team looks good. I do think he's got the horses to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting. Maybe he's snake bit. We'll see.
I did want to point out Karate Kid second in total points, not leading their own division.
It's true.
Last game to talk about for last week. Shane 5-0, looking far and away like the best team through the first third of the season. He knocks off the floundering Jeremy, dropping him to 1-4.
Yeah, Jeremy, of course, he's refused to drop Deshaun Watson and therefore refused to try to win a game. Shane with Allen and Saquon is he could
It's murder.
start 2 players a week and be interested to see what his record would be against all teams for 5 weeks if he just started 2 players.
He'd have several wins every week just with those 2 guys.
Amazing.
Yeah. Shane's closest game so far was a 5-point win over Chad. Every other game has been a blowout. On the other side, I don't even see the roadmap for Jeremy to get back. I mean, Jeremy's best chance at relevance this season is for his rapist quarterback to come swoop in after 2 years of not playing and play at an all-pro level. I don't know how else Jeremy gets there.
No, this year is completely sunk. As long as Deshaun Watson is on his team, he will have no chance at making the playoffs.
Okay, so let's look at next week.
Okay, great.
We got Jeremy versus Chris. Last line I saw was -10.5 for Jeremy.
That's what it's still at.
Is that accurate? That seems like a lot of points. I think Chris covers. I think Chris goes into Monday Night Football down about 10. Opposite of last week, I think this time he comes out with a skin of his teeth victory by CeeDee Lamb. It's just enough for the victory.
Wow. Okay. The Dude Abides will be playing Russell Wilson on Monday Night Football against the Los Angeles Chargers. And if there could be a quarterback that I would want my chances for a win, it would not be Russell Wilson on prime time. I just
this isn't great.
No. So there is a chance that with Josh Jacobs on a bye, this is the first chance we've had teams on byes, right? This is the first bye week. There's a chance that the commissioner's forgotten he's part of the league and that he'll just keep Josh Jacobs in there. And the only person who won't get a chance to bid on him will be you and the dude abides, because you're the only 2 teams under $100 on your waiver wire bucks. So I think the only way that Chris loses would be if he forgets to sub out Josh Jacobs. So I'm going to take Chris to cover the 10.5. I don't believe in anybody who has Deshaun Watson on their team. I'm not going to pick him.
No, that's no fun.
Yeah.
Now I have Shane -1 versus Jeff. Is that modern here?
Yep, it is. Yep.
They both had bye guys in their lineup when I was looking at it. So I don't know how you figure that out, but I just want to sit back and say, how amazing is it that Jeff and Shane are playing each other the week that the Bills and the Chiefs are playing each other?
Yes. I
undefeated versus 4-1.
Yeah.
Kudos to the commissioner, Lahan. Genius move with the schedule.
That's exactly right. I don't know.
I wasn't doing that kind of stuff. That is next level. That is 3D chess.
I mean, what you just said, the 5-0 Russell Sweat Sox playing the 4-1 Rhinos when Buffalo, I believe, is 4-1 and Mahomes is 4-1. It is magical.
Yeah, awesome.
It's perfect. And Shane has a Sunday night player in Miles Sanders. The Rhinos have Eckler going on Monday night. It's just, it is the game of the week. Obviously, you got the 2 premier quarterbacks in the league, the probably 1 and 2 that you would want. The revenge game from last year, Casey keeping Buffalo out of the AFC finals. I mean, it's perfect. It's
much flavor.
Game of the week in the NFL and the game of the week for the SoonerNation.
I like that Buffalo defense. I think they're one of the best in the league, but you could have one of those games like the AFC semis where you get these, Mahomes and Allen have another dick measuring contest and it ends up in 70 points for both of them.
Yeah,
I don't expect that. Maybe by the 4th quarter they start going back and forth, but I just think they're going to grind it out. I think they're going to try to keep each other off the field, keep away. And I like Jeff having Austin Eckler as that hammer at the end of the week. I just not enough to go against Shane. Not till he loses. I got Shane winning by 3.
I've got Shane winning too. The crazy thing is how many times will Mahomes be a home dog on his at Arrowhead? The Bills are favored by like 2.5. Like it is, it's crazy. Mahomes is in his prime. I still think underappreciated for how well he's done. And people just it's going to be an amazing game. I think the Bills are going to win, but maybe that means Mahomes is going to come out and throw 7 touchdowns.
Yeah. They can both. Yeah. We can see some record scores here.
I love that it's going to be good weather in October football. It's perfect. It's the game of the week, NFL and us.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Next game up, we got the Hellhounds -9.5 versus Josh. Now Josh has David Carr on a bye and then Dak maybe. So I guess if Josh doesn't have a quarterback, I like Mendenhall by 25. But Weiss is so solid everywhere else. If he gets the quarterback sorted, I think he wins. But I mean, he can't start any geek off the street. He's got to be handy with the football, if you know what I mean.
That was fantastic. I think that I was looking at the waiver wire earlier for quarterbacks, and I really am curious what will happen with what he will do. Will he stick with Dak? But I don't think Dak's going to play. So I think he's going to pick up somebody. And, you dropped Justin Fields last week. He scores 31 this last week.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cooper Rush has been won the game last week, but only had 102 passing yards. I don't know if you saw that. That's crazy. I mean, the most interesting thing will be, I think, will John play waiver wire defense to try to keep Josh from getting any quarterbacks? So will John just sort of drop his players like Chuba Hubbard and Rex Burkhead and Mark Ingram and just gobble up all the quarterbacks so Josh can't start a quarterback? If it were me, that's what I would do. I would say
that would be a lot of fun.
I can't beat Josh on the field, so I'm going to beat him on the waiver wire. That's what I would do.
Yeah, no, I love these kind of politics games. It's a dirty pool. I love it.
It's great.
Yeah, that's great. J -2 versus the Pharisees. I like the Pharisees to win by 3.5. Now maybe the jet lag giant defense is just what Lamar Jackson needs to the explosion game. Maybe they're still going to be on London time. Ramondre Stevenson kind of looks good with Damian Harris out.
Yeah.
Jay has these scary guys though, with Breece Hall breaking out. You already mentioned the two tackles on the one. Jay's got a clear path here, and it starts with Hurts, and then it goes through Chase and Waddle. We're still waiting for a gigantic game from Jamar Chase. I think this would be a great week to see it.
I think this is a really good week for Cincinnati to play indoors at New Orleans. I think that Chase and Burrow are going to have a huge week. I'm not going to choose against Jay. 1-5 is a hole that one of these teams will be stuck in. Like if Jay goes 1-5 this week, that playoffs that we've been talking about for Jay to not be a problem, 1-5's pretty hard to come back.
Yeah, you got to go to a heck of a run at that point.
Yeah. So the only thing is that Darren Waller is on a bye for John, which he's kind of been on a bye all year. So maybe a tight end pickup for him would be helpful. So
one more game, Chad -4 versus Brandon.
Yeah.
I think Chad wins by 9. I think he gets out to a big lead in the noon games. Brandon makes a run. I don't think he ever leads. I don't know how Brandon picks his quarterback. It's what you were talking about earlier. These guys are all capable. I don't know how much you trust any of them. The numbers say play Geno, but it's not that simple.
Well, I think it is this week because they're at home against Arizona, and he's got Geno in the lineup. He's got Geno in the lineup. I think he's going to bump up Taysom Hill into that lineup. And my guess is against Chad, the first big controversy of the league will be a multiple passing and rushing touchdowns from a tight end over Brandon. And I think that's going to happen to Chad. So I'm going to take Brandon to win.
It would be fitting if Chad's on the other end of that. Yeah, a cosign.
Yeah. Wait, I think there is one more game though.
Yeah, one more game. Are you still an 18-point favorite here?
Yeah.
What's the number? Jason -18 versus Aaron. I don't think I win. I don't think 18. 18 is a lot of points. I think I keep it within 18. Maybe a 6-point loss, something like that. I don't know. Here's my key. I see it. Jonathan Taylor has this get right game. He's rested up. He's ready to be on a new team. Clearly something is funky going on over there, the Gridiron Vipers. So we got a fresh start here with the Cobras. So he starts off with a big game, and then Higgins isn't so hurt, and then he and Joe Mixon team up, and I get those sweet double TDs left and right with Joe Burrow. Then I just got to hold on Monday night and see if I can hold off Herbert. Now, that doesn't sound like fun. So Monday night, I'm taking my kids to wrestling at the Paycom Center. We're going to go to Monday Night Raw. That's going to be better than watching Dingleberry Herbert deliver an L to me.
I think that I win by however many points that Herbert scores. I think that the game's over by Sunday night when that game is over. I think that I'll have already won. And then however many points Herbert scores is how many points I win by. I think he's going to score more than 18. So I think that I cover the 18.5.
Wow.
And I think that that's just going to make your enjoyment of the WWE event that much more, knowing that you've lost already going into the event. So I think it'll make it easier on you. You won't have to even have to follow the game.
Well, I'm not going to follow it. Who cares? Who cares?
Now, tell me, who's wrestling on Monday night in Oklahoma City that you're excited about?
I have no idea. I haven't watched wrestling in WrestleMania. Like April was the last time I watched any wrestling. So
okay. Who's all going?
I don't know.
Who are you taking?
We'll figure it out. I'm taking all 3 kids.
Okay.
Just the 4 of us.
Yeah.
And I don't know, some of you guys might remember I have this really old NWO wrestling t-shirt. Oh, you have a picture of me in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wore it to the draft last year.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit. I'm thinking about, we have a drawing between the 4 kids, and whoever wins has to wear the shirt to the Paycom.
That's awesome.
Because I think no matter who wears it, it's going to be funny.
Yeah.
So
that's
I don't know. We'll see.
I know this is not great production, but this is a picture from last year.
Oh yeah, there's the shirt.
Draft 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You
see it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well.
That shirt obviously fits. I think you should wear
it. Well, 25% chance that I do.
Oh man, those are the good old days. Winning the trophy. Can't wait for this.
You're so confident. You think you're going to cover the 18?
Yeah.
You want to? Should we wager?
Yeah, lunch. Want to do lunch?
No, I want to do. If you win, if you cover, I'll come to church on a Sunday morning of your choosing.
Okay.
Sunday morning of your choosing. I'm
really nervous. I really like this. I really like this so far, but I wish it would stop. But I'm already nervous.
If you don't cover, you have to have your exact same haircut, and you have to do next week's show with a Hitler mustache.
I can't grow a mustache. So it's a really good idea.
From the pulpit, you have to tell everybody that I am better than you at fantasy football, and I am more handsome than you. I don't even have to win. All I have to do is to cover.
Okay, so if I cover, you come to church on November 6th this year when I preach. I'm preaching November 6th, All Saints Day.
Okay.
And that will be awesome. I'd love to have you. Have you ever heard me preach on a Sunday?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that would be
just on awesome. This podcast.
Yeah. And if I lose from when I do the announcements at the close of the service, I have to say Aaron Copeland is better at me than fantasy football and more handsome.
Yeah, and you have to say and more handsomer, so you sound dumb.
I'll say and more handsome.
Okay, all right, agreed.
But I have to cover, and I have to beat 18.5 for you to come to church, and you only have to cover for me to say that?
You said you're going to cover. I mean, you're saying you're going to have the game won before Herbert even takes the field.
Deal. Let's shake on it.
All right.
You come to church if I cover, and if I don't cover, I have to say Aaron Copeland is more handsome than me, and is better than me in fantasy football.
Yeah, and I'm just going to listen to that on the recording that you put out. I'm not coming.
Okay, yeah, it's a deal. This is the best bet we've had in the whole history of the league. I'm super pumped.
Okay, good deal.
I'd just like to say, I want to say thank you to Rashard Penny for getting hurt and paving the way for Kenneth Walker the third or the fourth or the fifth, I'm not sure which, to pave his way into the starting lineup just at the right time. And I know that everyone's so happy for me that I drafted him 39th in our draft, the last rookie running back to go. And
Jason, I have to wake up in 8 hours.
Hey, sing us out then. Sing us out.
It's a land of opportunity, blessed by God above. All right, bye, guys.